was in 1968, and it is now on display at the Central Air Force Museum at Monino outside of Moscow. Similar issues were experienced when the plane first landed at London and Paris airports, neither of which had hosted a plane of this size. The Tu-114 entered regular Aeroflot service on flights from Vnukovo Airport in Moscow to Khabarovsk on the 24th of April, 1961. It was subsequently used for Aeroflot flights to international destinations including Copenhagen, Havana, Montreal, New Delhi, Paris, Belgrade and Tokyo, in cooperation with JAL. Flights to Havana via Conakry in Guinea began on the 10th of July, 1962. After the United States government placed political pressure on Guinea, landing rights were denied after 4 flights, and the Tu-114 service had to be routed through Dakar, Senegal, instead. Further American pressure to isolate Cuba resulted in denial of landing rights after 3 flights, and the route was changed to Algiers, Algeria, instead. After 3 more flights, Algiers was also closed to the Tu-114. To overcome this, the Tu-114 was specially modified into the long-range Tu-114D variant, with seating reduced from 170 to 60, and 15 extra fuel tanks added. These aircraft refueled at Olenia near Murmansk, in the far north of the Soviet Union, and then flew via the Barents Sea to Havana. Usually, this fuel load was enough, but in case of strong headwinds, an emergency refueling stop in Nassau in the Bahamas was necessary. This was an American military field. All planes operating this route were converted back to normal specifications after the jet-powered Ilyushin Il-62 began flying the Moscow-Havana route. Aeroflot first appeared in the OAG registry in the January 1967 issue, which shows a weekly Tu-114 from Sheremetyevo to Montreal, scheduled 11 hours 50 minutes. YOL to SVO was 10:30. 2 weekly Tu-114s to Havana in 1920, returning in 1625. 1 weekly Tu-114 to Delhi in 7 o'clock, returning in 7:40. The May 1967 OAG adds the weekly flight to Tokyo, taking 10:35 hours, and the return to SVO in 11:25 hours. Ilyushin 62s took over the Delhi and Montreal flights in 1967, though the August 1968 OAG shows a weekly SVO YOL HAV Tu-114 along with a weekly Tu-114 via Algiers. Ilyushins took over the Tokyo flight in May/June 1969 and Havana, probably sometime in 1969. With the increasing use of the Il-62, the Tu-114s were shifted to long domestic flights from Domodedovo to Alma-Ata, Tashkent, Novosibirsk and Khabarovsk. Tu-114s were also used for charter operations for senior officials of the USSR and various official delegations. The Tu-114 had a short commercial service life compared with other Soviet airliners, being operated on regular flights from 1962 to 1976. In comparison, the Il-62 is still in civilian service 52 years after its introduction, as of 2019. The fatigue life of the airframe was set at 14,000 flying hours. Most of the aircraft passed this point in 1976. By the summer of 1977, Aeroflot decided to scrap 21 aircraft at the same time. A FU continued in use by the Soviet Air Forces until 1991. The Tu-114 was renowned for reliability, speed and fuel economy. Tu-114 burned 5,000 to 5,500 kg forward/hour of fuel at cruise flight. Its safety record was rarely matched. There was only one accident involving fatalities, but the plane was not airborne at the time. It was only withdrawn from service after the introduction of the Il-62 and after carrying over 6 million passengers with Aeroflot and Japan Airlines. JAL service. For the Moscow-Tokyo route, Japan Airlines made an agreement with Aeroflot to use the Tu-114. Flight crew included one JAL member, and the cabin crew consisted of 5 each from Aeroflot and JAL. The seating was changed to a two-class layout with 105 seats, and the aircraft livery included a small JAL logo and lettering on the forward fuselage. The first flight was on the 17th of April, 1967. In 1969, the Moscow-Tokyo Tu-114 flights ended and the 4 involved planes converted back to the 200-seat domestic layout. Tu-114 at Monino Museum. World Records. In June 1959, the Aviation Sports Committee of the Central Air Club, named after Valery Pichkov, approached the Tupolev OK suggesting that various aviation records could be taken by Tupolev-designed aircraft. The Tupolev OKB prepared a detailed plan for record attempts on the Tu-16, Tu-104, Tu-104B, Tu-95M and Tu-114. The second pre-production Tu-114, 76459, was prepared and clearance obtained to fly with the 30-ton, metric ton, payload required for some of the record attempts. 6. In a series of flights beginning on the 24th of March, 1960, the Tu-114 achieved the following records in subclass C1, land planes, Group 2. Turboprop 24 March 1960, maximum speed on a 1,000 km, 621 mile, closed circuit with payloads of 0 to 25,000 kilograms, 0 to 55,116 pound. Pilot, Ivan Sukholin, USSR. Captain, B. Timachuk plus 4 other crew. Course forward/place. Sternberg Astronomical Institute 871.38 km /h, 541.45 miles per hour. The 1st of April 1960, maximum speed on a 2,000 km, 1,242 mile, closed circuit with payloads of 0 to 25,000 kg, 0 to 55,116 pound. Pilot, Ivan Sukholin, USSR. 2ND pilot, Enkaraitonov plus 3 other crew. Course forward/place, Sternberg Point Observatory, USSR. 2114764598557.277 km /h, 532.687 miles per hour. The 9th of April 1960, maximum speed on a 5,000 km, 3,105 mile, closed circuit with payloads of 0 to 25,000 kg, 0 to 55,116 pound. Pilot, Ivan Sukholin, USSR. 2ND pilot, Konstantin Sapolkin, second pilot. Course forward/place, Sternberg Point Observatory, USSR. 21146459857.212 km /h, 532.647 miles per hour. The 12th of July 1961, altitude with payloads of 25,000 to 30,000 kilograms, 55,115 to 66,138 pound. Pilot, Ivan Sukholin, USSR. 2ND pilot, Piotr Soldatov. Course forward/place, Vnukovo, USSR. 12,073 m, 39,610 feet. The 21st of April 1962, maximum speed on a 10,000 km, 6,210 mile, closed circuit with payloads of 1,000 to 10,000 kg, 2,205 to 22,046 pound. Pilot, Ivan Sukholin, USSR, 2ND Pilot P. Sole date of course /place, Sternberg Point Observatory, USSR, 21147646737.352 km /h, 458.169 miles per hour. All these records stand, but the category was discontinued when the category was split into takeoff weight subgroups. Similar records have been set in the new subgroups by Tu-195 and Tu-142 aircraft at faster speeds. Variants. Tu-114 initial production version. Tu-114 6NK8 projected long-range version with 6NK8 turbofan engines. Destined as an alternative to the Il-62M, never reached production. Tu-114-200 upgrade to original Tu-114, with seating layout for 200 passengers. Almost all aircraft were converted. Tu-114 a projected upgraded version designed in 1962-1963, with 98 102 passengers and long-range routes, never entered production. Tu-114B variant of Tu-114 with radome and assigned to carry large cruise missile. Tu-114C variant of Tu-114 with radome from Tu-114B and side blisters. Tu-114D, Downey, long-range version for flights to Cuba, with fewer passengers and increased takeoff weight to 182,000 kilograms. 3 built, 2 were converted to Tu-114-200 standard in 1969-1970 and 1 was written off in 1962.7, not to be confused with the Tu-116, Tu-114D. Tu-114E reconnaissance version of Tu-114. Tu-114F reconnaissance version of Tu-114 and Tu-114E with additional sensors. Tu-114PLO projected maritime strike variant armed with anti-ship missiles and naval radar. This variant was to be powered by a nuclear power plant. Tu-114T projected cargo freighter version, featuring a swingtail for loading large cargo. Tu-115 projected military transport version with a rear loading ramp and armed with a rear gun turret. Behind the cockpit was a compartment for 38 soldiers. The Tu-115 was designed to transport 300 paratroopers or 40 tons of cargo for a distance of 5,000 kilometers, 3,100 mi. Cancelled in favor of the Antonov An-22. Related developments. Tu-116. The Tu-116 was a Tupolev Tu-95 bomber fitted with pressurized passenger cabins built to serve as the official government transport. The 2 passenger cabins were fitted into the space of bomb bays and were not connected to each other or the flight deck. Tu-126. The Tu-126, NATO reporting name MOS, was used by the Soviet Air Force in the Airborne Early Warning (AEW) role until being replaced by the Bereva 50. Operators. Civil. Japan. Japan Airlines in association with Aeroflot. Soviet Union. Aeroflot. Military. Soviet Union. Soviet Air Forces, Tu-114, Tu-116. Accidents and incidents. During its service life, the Tu-114 had only one fatal accident. On the 17th of February, 1966, Aeroflot Flight 065 attempted to take off from Moscow Sheremetyevo Airport at night in deteriorating weather conditions, after the flight had been delayed several times. The crew was unaware that snow had not been properly cleared from the full width of the runway involved. The plane's wing struck a large snow mound at speed and the propellers of the number 3 and 4 engines hit the runway, resulting in the aircraft veering off course and catching fire. Initial Soviet sources suggested that 48 of the 70 persons on board were killed, including the pilot. 8. The aircraft was bound for Brazzaville, Republic of the Congo, with a number of Africans and a Soviet trade delegation on board. 9. Later reports give the fatalities as 21 of 48 on board. 10. Another non-operational aircraft was written off, with fuselage damage, on the 7th of August, 1962 at Vnukovo Airport after the nose undercarriage collapsed during servicing. 11. Tail number 76479 was one of only 3 long-range D models manufactured. 7. Aircraft on display. Russia L-5611, prototype, on static display at the Central Air Force Museum in Monino, Moscow Oblast. 12. This is the airliner used by Nikita Khrushchev when he visited the United States in 1959. 76490 on static display at the Ulyanovsk Aircraft Museum in Ulyanovsk, Oblast. 13. Together with the sole surviving example of the related Tu-114. Ukraine 76485 on static display at the Aviation Museum of the National Aviation University in Kryvyi Rih. 14. Specifications, Tu-114. Data from Jane's All the World's Aircraft 1969-70. 15. General characteristics: crew, 5 or 6 flight crew with up to 10 cabin crew. Capacity, up to 220 pax. Length, 54.1 m, 177 feet 6 in. Wingspan, 51.1 m, 167 feet 8 in. Width, 4.2 m, 13 feet 9 in. Height, 15.44 m, 50 feet 8 in. Wing area, 311.1 square meters, 3,349 square feet. Empty weight, 91,000 kilograms, 200,621 pound. Gross weight, 164,000 kilograms, 361,558 pound. Max takeoff weight, 171,000 kilograms, 376,990 pound. Fuel capacity, 60,000 kilograms, 130,000 pound, /72,980 L, 19,280 US gal, 16,050 imp gal. Power plant, 4 Kuznetsov NK12 MV turboprop engines, 11,033 kilowatts, 14,795 HP, each. Propellers, 8-blade Davy 60N contra-rotating reversible pitch propellers, 5.6 m, 18 feet 4 in, diameter. Performance maximum speed, 870 kilometers per hour, 540 miles per hour, 470 kn, at 8,000 m, 26,000 feet. Maximum speed, Mach 0.78 at 8,000 m, 26,000 feet. Cruise speed, 770 kilometers per hour, 480 miles per hour, 420 kn, at 9,000 m, 30,000 feet. Range, 8,950 kilometers, 5,560 mi, 4,813 mi, with max fuel and 15,000 kilograms, 33,000 pound. Payload 6,200 kilometers, 3,900 mi, 3,300 mi, with max payload and 60 minutes fuel reserves. Service ceiling, 12,000 m, 39,000 feet. Wing loading, 500 and...
Yes, let's stop. So it's 2 parts.